listening.
There we go. Right. Thank you for all attending the Everill Men's Shed meeting just before Christmas 2024. Right, there's been an awful lot of information, disinformation, a little bit of nastiness, a bit of hatred and a little bit of goodwill been flying about. So as trustees, we wanted to open the floor so you can all ask questions. And what we will be doing as well is just stating what's going to be happening over the next 3, 6 and 12 months. Okay? Right, so first of all, trustees are all volunteers. None of us are paid. You know, I've got a job that 30 plus hours a week. Richard, how many hours?
20, 24.
5:30 until in the morning until 6:30 at night is my time out of the house.
39 plus.
Retired. All right. So first of all, all of us except for one are actually still working. All right. So I think we'd just like to have that acknowledged, please. We don't benefit from being a trustee in any way. We're not employed by the shed. We do not have to do what we do. We have work, we've got that. Respect does work both ways. And so today, it may not be as, I'm going to be fairly assertive, to be honest, in a couple of areas. And one of the other things we just want to say from the trustees, if you don't like attending the shed, you don't have to. Okay, it's as simple as that. You don't have to come here. All right. With that said, all right, 3 of the trustees wanted to resign this week. Okay, they resign and the shed closes. Full stop. We need a quorum, and that's a minimum of 3. All right, and we got to the point where we're just about had enough. Okay. I'll pause just while whoever it is comes in.
Bruce. Morning.
Hi Bruce, we did make a tiny bit of a start. That's all right. We are recording it audio. If you're happy with that, Bruce, are you happy with that?
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you. All right. So we realised that once 3 of the trustees had said we'd had enough, we had to do something, and so we met on Thursday, and we've put some ideas and thoughts into place, which we want to share with you. The trustees have the ultimate decision here. The clue's in the title, trusted trustees. All right. I believe in asking you, wherever possible, whenever possible, what you want out of this group. All right. And then we feed that in. What there may not be is what is at the end of the 5-year plan that we have written. We've written the environmental plan. You know, all of these things are stages towards the shed being open in 2030. All right? Some of us won't be here then. All right? But I want this shed to be open and productive for the guys of tomorrow, as well as the guys of today. And that's what we're all doing. All right? So please don't lose sight of that. This is a bigger plan. All right? Also, what we are doing at the moment is the shed, isn't it? You know, working together, looking after each other, checking in with Michael when he's been in hospital, checking in with Steve when he's been in hospital. And there was even a third one who was around who'd ended up in hospital quite recently. You know, that's what we do. And we mustn't lose sight of that. All right? Anything else you would like to add about that from the other trustees?
No, I think it's got it covered.
Covered. Yeah.
Okay. Well, info sharing. I understand this is a really big issue. WhatsApp, Facebook, word of mouth, telephone calls, writing it on a bit of paper, website, all right? I'm not going to be able to get information to every single one of you, all right? I can't. You know, some of you don't use the internet. Some of you haven't got a smartphone. Some of you don't use WhatsApp. Some of you don't use Facebook. That's fine. So, what is the one form of communication that you will all be able to access? And it's not face to face, because we can't do that. Every little bit of news. And I'm asking about how you ask a question and we get you the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not going to be here every single week.
Well, somebody's got an answer.
Is it going to be part of, and this is what we're saying, unless there's a trustee here who has got the full picture, and you're all welcome to have the full picture, but you've got to spend the time to access it, right? How are we going to get those questions and answers if the trustees aren't here?
I don't know.
Yeah. But people are moaning because it's not happening.
A suggestion box.
Good idea. Number one.
Can I ask how many people haven't got access to the internet? In here? Anyone?
Can everybody here access the website? That's right, I just need to plug it in.
But this can access it.
You can or can't then, all right? Who can't access the internet in some way?
I think Alan's a no.
I can still use the internet.
So it looks like that might be
Everybody.
your means of communication.
Yeah. Right. One of my proposals is, as regards to answers, is to have a members area on our website.
There is.
I know. It's been trialled.
Ah.
All right. The idea is anybody asks a question by paper, by WhatsApp, by Facebook, as long as it gets to a trustee, we will answer it on there. So that means whenever you choose to access it, or how often you choose to access it, means that's how up to date you will be. How does that sound?
Bleeding obvious.
Obvious, yeah.
Right. So, Richard.
I was just gonna say, if I could just add as well about the role of the trustee, is we actually, the five of us actually have a legal obligation to ensure that as a charity we run according to the rules and regulations laid down by the Charity Commission, and as such, as trustees, we could each, all of us or individually, be held legally responsible for anything that is done with those rules and regulations. So that's why sometimes some questions or queries or ideas might take a little bit of time to come back to you, because we need to make sure that what we're coming back to you with is within the Charity Commission rules and regulations, and that just might explain some of the frustration that might build up if you think there's a bit of time. If it was a fairly significant suggestion or question, I personally might feel uncomfortable to answer it if I'm the only trustee here, for example, without actually sharing it with my fellow trustees, if that makes sense. I'll shut up.
But the
now.
answer will always come via the website. Okay, it will, as a minimum, come via the website. So that means if anybody asks a trustee a question or suggestion box or whatever, then we will answer it that way as a minimum. All right? Then it's up to you to access it.
Could I just suggest, I agree totally with that, but can I suggest any suggestions, questions or whatever, put via a single email which is connected to that members area, so it goes to all the trustees, but you don't end up with loads of different email threads going to individuals or whatever.
Okay,
It must
email
go
it
through a
to
single email.
haverhill.mens.shed.
Yeah.
If you email it to there, all right, that's where we will answer it from.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's where it come in. All right. If it's a piece of paper passed to, which is fair enough, because everybody can do email, all right, it will take some time, but it will come back via that route. Okay. that should alleviate some of the frustrations of what's going on. Okay? And yeah, I am guilty of steaming ahead. Okay? I am. Alright? That's why we are where we are today. Alright? We're about to walk into a building that's ours in 2030. It's going to cost us next to nothing, and it's going to have one of the best sheds and access and that there is in the area. Richard?
Is it worth just clarifying? You keep saying 2030. I don't think Anthony's suggesting that's when we're going to get into the bungalow. It sounds a bit like it, doesn't it? We'll be in there much sooner than that. But the whole sort of 5-year planning process that we've got in place is to ensure that we're still open and running and improved at the bungalow in 2030.
Yeah. Because I'm saying that I want this to be open for the next set of guys that come along when we're all not here. Alright? Okay, good. Split. We are going to split. Okay? If those who wish to stay up here use the facilities just up here, alright, that's absolutely fine. No problems at all, obviously. Nothing to do with me. Alright, so as of the 31st of March, if you sign up for Menshed membership, your membership is for the bungalow. Okay, it won't be anything to do with here. You can come to both, you can do whatever you like at both, or whatever, but we're going to make a clear separation. Alright, so what the guys do here will not be covered by shed. No insurance, no policies, no record keeping, no procedures, practice. It'll just be between you and John. Alright? So please, have a think, but we're going to carry on covering it until the end of your membership this year. Alright, so then if you want to sign up, you can. If you don't sign up, that's fine. No problems at all, guys. If you do sign up and join the bungalow, the shed, Haverhill Men Shed up there will be a code of conduct. Okay, and it will be quite clear. And the easiest thing to put is it will be respect, because that seems to have been lost quite a little bit lately. Alright, so respect up there, down here, do what you like, whatever you like. You know, but we won't be covering it from insurance, we won't be covering it from the use of tools, anything. That will all be moved up there. So this will be just a blank canvas for you guys to use as you wish and who wishes. Is that clear?
Has anybody got any questions before we move on to the next subject about the split? No?
Yeah, I don't think you should lose out on its friendship, this club as well. And that's respect, but it's also friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but friendship doesn't happen if there's no respect.
No, I know, respect, but friendship has.
Yeah.
We're here for friends in many ways, not
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to get out of the house, to do, I'm out of the house just to come out, sort of.
Yeah.
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 For those who don't know, Gary was right at the beginning. He went away and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the original Gary, not the orange Gary.
The clothes.
Yeah, the one with no clothes on. Before we pause and move on, is there anything else that people would like to ask or add or bring up? Because this is a free conversation, guys. You know, this is a bit of a watershed for us to move on, or not. There was a big draw of breath over there, mate. Yeah, Michael.
I just want to say, we voted you in. So we should put our trust in you and let you get on with the job.
There will be opportunities to stand up and vote yourselves in, or vote for somebody else in. Okay? My understanding is that's around about April time, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, yes.
I think we all know how hard this job is, or your job is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were all said that we would try and help out wherever possible, but like I say, half of us are still working, so we haven't got the time to dedicate like you guys have, sort of
Yeah.
thing. So it will happen at some stage. Some people will move on, but
Yeah.
we don't want you to move on yet.
No, and I'm not intending to.
No.
I always said I'll be here till April next year, 3 years of getting it up and set up. it needs to drag on a little bit longer, I've got no problem with that. If you still want me to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's running as a friendly men's shed.
Yeah, I think we lost our track.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
there's a lot of banter, there's a lot of crap going on the WhatsApp chats.
And when I was here last, it was a very friendly place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
It
I
still
today.
is.
It still is.
happened.
To be fair, WhatsApp has probably ruined it for a lot of people.
In some ways, 'cause it's
Yeah.
But I don't want to dwell on individual. I'm saying there's a flavour.
Yeah.
I want to stop the flavour and
Yeah.
move on. Now, my interpretation of what happened was information wasn't got, gained, asked, whatever, in a way that somebody could absorb it, have it, so that they had an informed decision choice about what was happening. All right, I'm going to go to Richard.
Yeah, I just want to come back to that friendship aspect, which I think is just paramount importance. But also just to remember that we are a voluntary organisation, and there's a big clue there in the word voluntary, in terms of how much or how little some people can, because of other reasons, would prefer not to get involved, if you like. And we're always, I think, going to have this spread of members. I mean, when I joined, I just wanted to come down here and do my ordering. That was it. And have a nice chat with, with nice people. I mean, obviously, that, for me personally, that's developed a little bit, but hopefully I'll go back to that one day. So members like that don't really want to be involved in the running of it, just want to come here and benefit from what the shed offers, are as equally important as individuals that are putting in hours and hours and hours of work and their time during the week. And I think let's not lose sight of that either.
I suppose the one thing to say is it's your shed, you can use it as you want, but please be nice and play nice.
Yeah.
That's it. It's as simple as that, really. If you've got a question, then please come and ask. That's all I'm saying. Come and ask, and I will do my best as quick as possible to answer it.
And you did say right at the start, come up with an idea. Don't shoot it down in flames once you're doing the idea and say, I knew it wouldn't work. That's not the way to work it. Let's find a solution for it.
Yeah, I did run with the green roof. That's no problems. I did. I thought I'd talk to people about it. I thought that it was understood, but it obviously weren't. Then my apologies.
Yeah.
All right.
What's wrong with a green roof?
We're not going to go there now, but thanks for But part of the green sustainability plan that means we can access other grants and other monies, and to be seen as being a green roof goes quite a way towards accessing other monies, and it's also good for the bees, and it keeps the insulation. But go.
And there are going to be mistakes. We are all going to make mistakes. We put fencing panels up, we'd have to put them up again because of the wind. We didn't know the wind was going to happen. They could have stayed up there for 10 years or so. But we had all that damage and stuff. So it's been happening again. Whether
And
it's a
you've been
mistake or
burgled.
not, I don't know. But, I mean, all right, fair play to Dave and Jeff. They've been up there all the time. But that's what they want to do. I can't do that.
I think I want to say thank you to Jeff and Dave for the hard work they've put in up
Yeah.
there.
100%.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
But don't expect the rest of us to be completely and utterly grateful. Because that's everybody puts their out. We don't expect you to be grateful.
No.
But just expect you to be polite. Polite is where I'm working on to start with.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys, I am grateful for what you've done, and I'm going to be polite to you.
We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You've brought it. All right. I know Colin's not here, but he was another one that's been doing stuff. Everybody's been doing their little bit. All right. And let's not lose sight of the shed is the journey. We're all here for a reason. All right. And that's the journey together. It's not to do with a building. It's really clear, even on the whole shed movement thing. A shed is not a building. It's the connections between us. Walking down the street and actually being able to say hello to somebody because you actually recognise them.
How many times have you done that over the past couple of years since you've been a member of the shed? Just been down the town and just bumped into a shed member?
saw you at Tesco's.
Me quite a few because I was completely new to the area, so I knew nobody.
Well,
And,
nobody comes to Bury, so
Whenever I see Anthony, I cross the road.
Well, Be nice! Strike one for you, Tango! Fantastic.
I've lived in Hayleyhill for all my life pretty much, and it's only the past couple of years that I've actually stopped and said hello to more people than all previous years, because I know more people now. You know.
Every now and again we arrange to meet on a corner, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to know about that.
it involves money.
For the bank. And it does involve.
And
Yeah, yeah.
steady up.
I pay you.
Oh yeah. Oh, now I get it now. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the bank. Right. As of 1st of January, do not record anything that goes on up here. Okay, we don't need it. Okay, and that's where the split will start. It'll start to make it quite clear. We don't need the records up here. Whatever John needs, talk to John, and then he can record it or keep it and do whatever is required for John. Alright? Bungalow will still record data of what we're doing and that sort of thing. What?
Yes.
Do we know what the split's going to be?
I described it.
No. Who? It's going to be?
I hope it's known to be,
Right, okay.
to be honest. But there is people that have said they don't want to come up the bungalow until it's at an X stage.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's fair enough, because it ain't bloody safe.
Bloody
There is
cold.
slip hazards and there's cold and that, and I don't mind that.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to join the membership
Yeah.
to go up to a cold bungalow, that's fine. You know, but you can stay and do whatever you want here.
Yeah.
All right. But what I am going to make clear is it's not the men's shed.
After the 31st of March.
Yeah, after the 31st, it's not the men's shed. This will be just a group to it, whatever you like, call it whatever you like, whatever. I don't mind. But it's going to have to be a split from that point of view. Right, now on to the good news. Electricity's going on the 10th of December. Maybe.
Enough of getting on.
I just want to say that it has been a nightmare. It really has. The school has been fantastic. They've even rung up with their credit card in the hand to Eon and said, "Can I pay you £500, please?" And they've said no.
What?
Yeah.
It's typical of Eon.
Yep. I thought we were British Gas on the utilities database, which you can access, anybody can access to find what supply goes to what house. They said British Gas. And it's
So-
actually Eon.
So that database is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
But my thoughts are, because that house has been empty and there's been people in there and out and all that sort of thing, been a nightmare. Also, when I rung up Utility Warehouse to take the service and put it into our name, they said, well, if there's a large debt on it, Eon won't release the actual service until it's paid. And he said, well, I can give you a stick so you can put some credit on it now. And I said, well, it's got £569 worth of debt on it. And I worked out we'd have to go to the bank, go to the shop, get the top up, was it 12 times?
At 49 quid a time.
Yeah, because it won't do anything more than that. All right.
There's debt on me.
500, and this is the
Yeah.
issue.
It's
The
a
standing
daily
charge.
It's a daily standing charge.
Oh, which the school has never paid.
Yeah.
Well, it's, the point is,
Oh, we have been paid, you know.
Right, one voice, let's say Peter to
School.
answer, then to Jeff.
the
Just
school most probably,
Well, it's,
when they,
it's an expensive
when
way
the
to
two
do it.
teachers left,
Yeah,
right, many years ago,
yeah,
right, because they had the caretaker in,
yeah,
when he retired,
yeah.
they let two teachers use the bungalow.
Right.
They were from America,
Oh,
on
right.
secondment for a
Yeah.
year. When they left,
Yeah,
whoever it is in the school
yeah.
never informed the electricity and gas people
Oh, what?
that
the meter was
the
still
meters
running.
were no longer in use.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they are in use, but
Yeah.
they'll be on a pay as you go.
Yeah.
Alright, and so the people left, and so it carried on ticking on for at least 7 years.
Yeah, but I don't think you've got any. They've got no legal call on you to
No,
pay
no,
that
no,
debt.
not at all.
No.
Yeah.
But that was a solution that we were trying.
Oh, right.
So the school
Yeah.
have been trying to pay it.
Yeah,
We've been trying to do a workaround on it.
yeah,
Alright? And once And I've been literally researching, feeding it to school, feeding it to school, feeding it to school until yesterday. I spoke to the caretaker, Ash, and I said, ask them to put a smart, if you are the holder of it, put a smart meter in. And he went, okay. And he rung them up and they're putting a smart meter in. That means the debt on the meter, they'll take it out, put it over there, they'll write an invoice and send that to the school, and a brand new meter goes in with 0 on it.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
And that's ours.
And that's ours.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
That'll be in their name, and then we take it over, and we've got the electric in our name. Then
Yeah.
we go and get the boiler sorted out. Brand new boiler sitting in there. We get the gas supply. Then you've got heat, water.
Yeah.
Then, as well, we'll have it rewired. The school have said they'll rewire the whole place for us. All right. So
Do we know when?
Richard first.
It's round the corner.
It's been our biggest frustrating issue, and I think we'll probably all agree, is the electricity. And between, as far as the trustees concerned, has been for us too. To the extent that earlier this week Anthony did for us a spreadsheet where he's literally detailed chronologically all his phone calls, emails, face-to-faces, etc., about trying to sort this out. We were going to print it off today and bring it so you could have a look, but it would take 12 sheets of A4 paper to actually, print it off in a format that we could read it.
Oh, good.
It's just, and I've seen him close to tears recently, in frustration at trying to get this thing sorted out. But at each stage, whilst we've been really clear what we want to do, and I mean we, the shed, we've always had a third party. And the third parties have tried to work with us, but we've had Unity, then we had British Gas, and then we found it wasn't British Gas, and then we had E.ON, and now we've got the school. So that's it's been very frustrating, but it looks like we've got the light.
Even the emails I sent were old men cold with no electricity. This is getting beyond a joke. These were some of the phrases I started using in emails because it was getting beyond a joke. All right, but it's not the school, and I really want to emphasise it ain't the school. Every time I phone them up, all right, because I'm speaking to their finance department. I'm speaking to the finance department with the lady that has the credit card in her hand, wanting to pay, and she's copying me into the emails because they don't answer their phone. So, fingers crossed the 10th.
E.ON has a habit of cutting you off and they won't answer the phone. I've had first-hand experience.
Right.
Well, of course, once we get this all sorted out, hopefully on the 10th, after a month or two, we could look to change supplier.
The only reason I said utility warehouse because I went down the list of the top best suppliers, and they were the first one that answered the phone. So that's why I went with
You must have got them on an off day.
If you do change supplier, can you let me know and I'll do it through Octopus and we can get 100 quid out of it?
Yeah.
Octopus were the number one on the list, and they didn't answer their phone after half an hour.
Bastards!
Octopus are usually good.
Yeah.
I'm with Octopus and they've been brilliant.
So I used to be
Likewise.
E.ON, and like Steve said, their complaints department is just atrocious.
Is it?
Yeah, I had to go on social media, Twitter at the time, and Facebook with all this going on for them to actually do anything.
Well, thank you. Right.
Just saying, Octopus, I have had more than 8 calls to deal with at the time.
Ha ha ha. Thank you for that. Satire. All right. So, would you prefer? So, the consensus of opinion is Octopus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I've got no problem with that.
How many people here are using Octopus? Have you had any problems with it?
No.
No. Right.
Is it easy to upload your meter readings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Just one,
Smart meter.
And you do the roulette thing.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
smart
you never
meter,
win.
you don't have to upload you.
just
I know, but
one more
that's
slide
fine,
in
stuff
for
works.
Octopus is
I can't
Right,
have,
okay.
I can't have one
Okay.
fitted.
Thank you.
Pull this back.
On Tuesday, I was at a mental health meeting, and that's where somebody was talking about grants for wildflower gardens and all of this kind of thing as well. But we were also offered a grant for £5,000.
Hey!
Up to. Yeah.
Offered a grant, you know. You're welcome. Don't worry.
You don't have
All
to
right.
take it.
So that had to be in by Friday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So I couldn't consult with you.
No.
All right, couldn't. All right. So we met on Thursday night Pacific. There's another one for this, and I put in for brand new patio door at the back because obviously it's blocked by a bit of wood. A new side door for the kitchen. Fire doors throughout, and that's almost the amount of money. And decking, so we can have decking for that whole area where the it doesn't have to be wood decking, it can be plastic, metal,
Composite.
concrete, whatever. But I put in for materials for, and that was all under making it more, obviously more thermal improvement, blah 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 blah. All right, but that has to be spent by the 31st of March, which is absolutely fine. All right, so that's another example of a plan ahead when somebody comes up and says, oh, I've got this grant, the criteria are, have you got anything you can use for that? And I go, yes, I'll have that. And we get it.
That is
Right, more good news. We've been nominated the Mayor's Charity of the Year. Way! All right.
Little picture on the. Never mind.
Yeah. What does that mean? Well, one, it means that the choral event on Wednesday, I've got to go and do a little speech alongside the other nominated charity, which is the Link. But us, the credit to us, just to me, I think that's fantastic, just to be recognised
Yeah.
for what we are doing. All right, the publicity for what we are doing and what we are going to do and be for the benefit of Haverhill. All right, and that's what I'm looking at. 2030 in the bungalow. All right, but the benefit of the next set of men coming along. All right, so to have that recognition is really good. Last but not least on my list is the Xmas event, Christmas event, and Christmas Day. I know a lot of guys are on their own, and I was so hoping that we would be able to do something up at the bungalow on Christmas Day. I think in reality we're not going to be able to. We won't have a cooker. We won't have a TV. So I'm sorry, I don't think that would be possible, but please, if you did want to get together, you all know to sort it yourselves, and I dare say John wouldn't mind you coming in, whatever, if you did want to do something. Alright, the Salvation Army are doing it, and there is a taxi service available. It's the bugger when your wife works for the Salvation Army. And you get a 7-seater car, all of a sudden you're nominated for everything. So
You can
Yeah.
get 7 people in that death trap of yours.
I've got bungee straps. What do you mean? It's the swap bits on the side you hold on to.
It's
Yeah,
the
I
Galaxy.
understand.
No, he's talking about his Galaxy, not the truck.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I've got a Ford leather. Yeah. Right.
Anthony, just quickly about the electricity. Tell everybody about the rewiring.
Yeah.
Although we're getting electricity on the 10th,
Right,
sorry.
About.
Yeah. So although we're going to get electricity from the 10th up at the bungalow, we still got to wait for it to be rewired. So in the meantime, I think there's a small board.
Right, we do have 4 sockets on a breaker, which is called like the builder's board. Alright, that has been wired in. Okay, so we have 4 sockets that we can draw electricity off.
So in the bungalow or the garage?
It's in the cupboard
No, it's in the
beside
cupboard.
the actual electricity
Building
meter.
box.
The idea being it's what builders put into place is when they rewire, so that they can charge the drills up, run lights, have a radio going, that sort of thing. So yeah, it will be extension needed, but it's enough. Well, considering what we have had, it will be fantastic. All right. We did talk about doing it ourselves. All right, but I think that if we can get the school to do it as quickly as possible, which are probably electricians' a job inside over winter, they might want that. All right, we're going to go with them doing it. All right, we have been doing things like ducting underneath the path, all that sort of thing, so that we can put the supplies in. Yeah. So that's the plan for that. So the temporary supply will be more than enough for what we want to do. Kettles, little heaters, whatever. All right. But for running the place, no, we won't be. We have to wait for it's rewired. Okay. And as soon as electric's on, that's what I'll be on to next. And we've already agreed with them it's all going to be surface mounted. Because if there's a problem, easy access to it. I've laid out roughly where we think the sockets are going to be wanted. You know, for where we're going to want the TV, where we're going to want the computer, where we're going to be wanting access to sockets in the community rooms. All right, and then the 30 amp supply, is that still right? 30 amps for the...
Yeah.
30 amps for the 2 units with an isolator switch and da-da-da.
That'll be going in the garage, I
Yeah.
guess.
Still the plan is to have the workshops will be isolated by a big switch inside the garage. That means nobody can just come along and just go and fiddle in there if they've got whatever. Alright, as safe as possible. Any other questions on that?
Will any of the wiring need to be done in the workshops?
I would say yes, all of it.
Okay.
I don't think we can assume any of that wiring's okay unless it's been thoroughly tested all the way through. I know you had a look at it, Michael, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it will need doing.
Okay.
I think we can reuse the trunking,
Yeah.
but I think that we would definitely want to make it as safe as possible for somebody in 2030.
Yeah.
All right, because we're probably going to have, and this is the next one, is how long we actually have hard wire checks done.
Morning. Morning. Come in. Come in. Every 5 years. We're still in our meeting at the
Yeah.
moment, but come in. You're welcome to listen in.
So every 5 years, that's coming. Churches have to have every year.
Electrical installation certificate.
All right, so I don't know what Men's Shed's actually legal status this is, regards to that. And don't forget, we haven't done.
If we stick to 5 years, then at least we're sticking to something.
Right. The school have said they're going to do asbestos surveys and maintenance. The school have said they're going to do the hard wire checks and pat testing for us. All right. They're going to do the fire. I mean, because there's no fire suppression system. There's no fire maintenance. There's no fire extinguishers. You know, all of this is still yet to be done. You know, we're going to need to get the fire brigade up to come up and have a good old look around and give us some advice and guidance on how best to treat any emergency up there, because they're going to want to be able to get in, understand, rescue people if there is an incident. And we're not talking just about fire, we're talking about somebody slipping over and breaking a leg.
Yeah.
All right, and then the ambulance crew can't get them out of there, mate. So these are all the things that are going to have to be thought of. Peter.
And the fire brigade will most probably put smoke alarms for you free.
Yep.
With a 10-year battery.
What I would like is that they're interconnected between the units and the bungalow. So if there's a fire in the bungalow, people in the actual units know, and vice versa.
That can be done
They
wireless.
are
It
loud.
can be wireless.
They are loud enough as well.
Yeah, they are loud enough.
Yeah.
Not if you're drilling, or bandsaw,
Well, yeah.
or angle grinding,
Well,
or somebody's angle grinding, or somebody's on the bandsaw, and somebody else is hitting a large bit of metal.
Or you're
Alright.
slightly deaf.
Or you're slightly deaf. Yeah. And this is it. We've got. Can we not do that, please?
sorry.
That's the respect we're talking about. All right. And this is the thing. We want to make it as safe as possible. Because there's a hell of a lot of steps. Right.
The fire brigade will send somebody up and they'll do a proper in-depth
Yep.
survey, and
Yep.
they will quite happily install fire alarms and probably give you an idea of how to connect them
Yeah.
over to the sheds and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So everyone knows what's happening.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is, at the moment, we're just getting to the point of watertight. We've had literally 3 weeks ago, we had the windows put in that we had no glass in. You know, this is still the journey, isn't it? All right. I think by this time next year we'll be up and running, no problem.
Mm.
But it is going to be that kind of time, and it will never be finished. How many of you will finish your sheds? All right. So it's the journey, guys, and that's what I'm saying. Let's try and keep the journey going. Xmas event. All that negativity, let's have a little bit of fun. Right, the 21st, up here. Does that sound what we've discussed previously?
21st, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
very similar format to last year. Ron will be bringing the games, little cars and that sort of thing. The usual trophies, and I do hope the odds and sods are going to make a musical event.
I'm sure we can make some noise.
I'm sure you can make some noise. Yeah, we'll set you up in the car park.
On the other side of town.
Right, Ron?
Can I go around the corner?
So there, so that's the plan. Okay, further details to follow. Yes, please.
Insurance update. So our current policy expires at midnight tonight, which is the policy we've had for the last year. Covers us as we're all aware. And our new policy commences at a minute past midnight tonight. And we have changed companies. We are now going through Wessex Insurance Brokers, who seem to be building up their client base with men's sheds, becoming a bit, specialists with men's sheds across the country. So they're the brokers. The insurance company that we're actually going with is a company called Specialty Insurance. We will have £5 million public and products liability cover. So that means we can go out from our base, we can make things and sell things. We have £10 million cover for employers' liability. We have £100,000 legal expenses cover. And we also have £44,000 contents in cover, new for old, and £6,000 buildings cover to cover the whole cost of the two site containers. Our address for this new insurance is the bungalow. We also have £100,000 legal expenses cover for whoever the trustees are. So if it is one of these issues, we've got we've got insurance to back up any issues there.
Yeah, so you've got what they used to call officers and directors
Yeah,
cover. Yeah, you've got that. You should have that.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what we. Yeah, that's
It gives
exactly
you
what we've
protection.
got. So the premium was £1,016, 10116, which is only actually for about 50 quid more
Than last year.
than last year, which was insuring us for here Saturday morning and a Wednesday evening. So this new policy at 50 quid more is actually 7 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the other benefit we get from this insurance cover that starts tonight is that it covers us for the same similar activities off-site, either temporary places, temporary locations. So it still provides us with a cover, a show, etc., or odds and sods, going off doing a performance, but also temporary cover here.
Till the 31st of March. Alright, so you are covered up here, alright, until then, because that's when your membership runs to.
Our existing insurers came back wanting about, I think it was £1,300.
Okay.
So we saved it 250 quid, I think.
Right. As of tomorrow, though, alright, be aware that some of the big kit in there, if you're going to be insured off-site, That's for portable tools that we own. Alright? An electric drill that is battery, we own, can be used up here. The bandsaw up here is not covered by us. That's not a portable piece of equipment that we could take to a site. That will come under John's insurance like we used to right at the beginning. You will need to clarify that with him. Alright, because I think that was fairly ambiguous at the beginning until we got our own insurance. Alright, so the lathe won't be able to be used as well because that will come under it. So anything that's really big kit,
Fixed, basically. Yeah, that's the
basically, yeah.
terminology. Yeah.
we've got a plug on it.
Yeah.
You know, if it belongs to us, that's fine, it's ours. It's portably transported and used off site because the site, as of tomorrow, will be the bungalow, not here. Okay? We'll be changing the registered address and everything up to there as well.
That'd be fun.
Presumably people will be able to use lathe and bandsaw here at their own risk.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just want to be covered.
And that is why I'm recording this conversation, so everybody here knows that it is at your own risk, and there is nobody that can say, I chopped my fingers off, I'd like to make a claim against Menshed, and we will say, no you can't, you need to claim off John's insurance. Good luck with that. Alright? Okay.
Will the yearly subscription go up next year or not?
We haven't discussed
No,
that,
not yet.
but you know my view is as cheap as possible.
Right.
Because friendship shouldn't have a cost. But the bills do.
Yeah.
You know, we are okay for money. Alright? It won't always be the case because we were told as regards to the community grant that we put in for that we had 7,800 year one, 10,050 year two, year three, which is what's coming up next year, I think we're looking at about 2,000.
Oh, right.
Well, we've had our slice of the cake, guys, and that's fair enough.
And of course, what is still a little bit of an unknown entity, treasurer speaking here, looking at the pounds, shillings and pence, is we will start to pick up like, you know, gas, electricity, monthly payments, internet, you know, Wi-Fi provider,
TV license.
TV license. Yet we might not have to, but you know, all of this is got to be explored now and sorted out. You know, whether we, I don't know, even down to do we rent one of these coffee machines like this? You know, so there's a number of things that might also kick in, or
So-
certainly have to be looked at once we're in the bungalow.
What's happening with regards to rates for the property?
So
Is the school covering that?
Rates.
Yeah.
Right, at this moment in time, there has been no mention of it. Okay. Also, as we have got no electricity in there, as far as I'm concerned,
It's not habitable,
It's
so
not
there's
habitable.
no rates at the moment. But since electricity and
it is actually on the school premises.
yeah,
It is still regarded as an educational facility.
right.
Okay.
I
Now,
don't know where that puts you with the council. That's all.
it doesn't put us, and it's very difficult
Yeah.
from the point of view of planning as well. So one of the things that when I had informal discussions was get it sorted out what it's actually going to be
Mm.
before you start trying to change planning, change this, change that. Also, we're a charity, so you get 80% rebate anyway on rates.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So it would be £400-500 a year.
Yeah.
If it were like a business, I don't know 100%. There might be other people who do know more. No. So, yeah. But these are all things that, like I say, next year we'll be up and running. 2030 will be rolling nicely, but it's going to take those years for it to start rolling and rolling. Right. Hey, that's still 10 years before I retire. 2040, I think, is when I'm going to retire. Something like that.
5 years.
Cheeky. Yeah. So there's lots of things that we're going to have to suck it and see, and I don't want the costs to go up. Friendship shouldn't cost.
Right.
And I think the one thing that we have discussed is probably tiers of membership, because if you don't really want to use a bandsaw, or you don't want to use all the real heavy duty equipment, then don't And then why should you pay if you only want to come for social? So we're looking at possibly 2-tier membership, you know, on the tools and off the tools membership. Also the sheds up there, metal and recycling, we want to do activities up there that cover as much of the costs as possible, so therefore membership as cheap as possible. Like we say, we'll bring in £500 a year on the renting out of the little sheds that we, you know, the stables, as it were, that we want to build there. All right, metal collection, I think I've put in the budget for £150 to £300 worth of recycled metal that we can do for you. And that's just crap we're picking up. You know, that's not going to be getting too excited about it.
And that could be the TV licence.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah. Also, there's other companies segment. There's other things like warm lounge grants. So you don't have to turn your heating on all day while you're at home. You come along to our place, you sit there, drink coffee, tea, natter to people, watch the telly, do a bit if you want, don't do a bit, and you can get some kind of sponsorship for that as well. But that's me. I'll do that looking at grants and opportunities ahead to make it as cheap as possible. Okay. Right, I do like to go around the room to make sure everybody has had a chance to ask anything. I'll come to you first then, Peter.
Recycling.
Yes.
Aluminium cans, like pop. The other kind, the steel cans. If we can allocate two bins, the black ones out the back, and mark them up, right? The steel cans we can't squash easily because they're the ring pull cans, like for tin meat, baked beans, dog food, cat food.
But these things do that. These
Yeah,
ones.
that'll do aluminium cans, like
They're not powerful
Pepsi
enough.
and things like that, but they're not strong enough.
Okay,
We
so
can get one for about £8 that we can put in the
right,
kitchen
just-
up there.
what?
I've already started.
Brilliant. So for those who aren't aware of our recycling, Ron,
Because it's all labelled.
right, so we've got like 4 wheelie bins up there that we want to put different types like copper, aluminium, steel. The more we separate, the better price we'll get. All right. What we need is somebody to say, yeah, I'll oversee that. Okay. Likewise mentioned about the Tools for Africa and that sort of thing. We just need somebody just to step up a little bit and say, yeah, I'll oversee that. You know, that's what we want. But the metal recycling is a means of generating income. The Tools for Africa, we know that there's stuff that comes to you, Dave. All right, we can just chuck it in there for scrap, like old sledgehammer heads and stuff like that, can't we?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep on going around the room after Dave.
Okay.
We could get the school involved in it as well.
The school are really, we've asked them about doing the artwork on the containers, and that's been next to near impossible. No, they're not replying or anything. So I think the more autonomy that we have in generating income, the better. It's
What about with the cans? I mean, if I drink cans and drinks and that.
straight in my mind, I'm
Cans
thinking of
and
kids walking past throwing cans over the fence into the garden. That's what I'm thinking straight away. You know.
No, I mean, you
But
know,
it is a good question.
If there's an art, you know, if there was something set up in the school, they could donate the cans there. And then
It is a
somebody
good
could
thing
go
to
down and
ask.
pick 'em up.
So yes,
They may
Alright.
have their own recycling policy.
yeah.
They will,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right,
You don't ask, you don't know, do you?
this is it. Right, Peter, Eves,
I'm
anything
fine.
you like? Yeah. John, anything you'd like to ask? or say?
nothing at all.
Gary.
I asked about the internet. Is there anyone here who doesn't know how to get to a web page or email or anything, needs any help? No? Okay.
Cool. Lovely. Big Al.
No.
Peter.
Two quick things.
Hold on, I'll come to you. Hold on, a second.
Sorry.
Peter.
It's coming up to that time of the year when we like eating a lot of mince pies. All the containers they're in, they're all aluminium.
Every little helps.
There's a lot of foods come in
Yeah.
and aluminium.
I think
Well,
one, yeah, with that, I think
Yeah.
as soon as we get the bins labelled up, all right, then you can bring your aluminium, just chuck it
Yeah.
in there. All right, and I think that is a cracking idea. Just every little helps. I know it sounds
I
daft.
bought myself a lasagna the other day,
Yeah.
and that came in an aluminium container. You can put
Yeah.
it straight in the oven.
Yeah.
But wash it out, bring it up. They're
Also-
only lightweight, but you get enough of them.
Also, yesterday I pulled out a big bit of checker plate like that out of a skip. All right. Worst case scenario, we can recycle it. You know, it'll also make a really good step. All right. Thank you. Jeff.
Two quick things. Yesterday down at the link, Paloma Faith and one of her backing singers in her day job came into the link, and they were actually a couple doing a survey for the
One
town
Haverhill.
centre partnership, Haverhill.
One Haverhill.
Yeah, and they weren't fully aware of the what the men's shed do, so they took lots of notes and putting us as centre stage of a good, worthwhile community asset. The other thing is from the 15th to the 21st of September next year, we've hired the Arts Centre studio for an arts and craft exhibition. So anything you can make throughout the year, already some people have started producing stuff, but I know it will get to 2 weeks before nobody will have produced anything, so please think about it now. Any arts and craft, painting, woodwork, whatever you've got skills at would turn in.
And any space that's not filled, I will. Because you know what that will be, so...
So when everyone start making the stuff in other bits.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, Michael. Bruce.
Nothing really, just to remind everyone that I am a town councillor, so if there's any council related issues, give me a shout. And obviously the town council are very much aware of what Men's Shed do, and as you said, Anthony, the mayor this year will be obviously nominating you as one of his charities, and I think that is, as Anthony said earlier, fantastic recognition of what you guys are achieving. Well done.
Thanks, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. And first, and an apology to you guys, because I didn't realise there was town council, county, district council,
and county council.
and county council, and some of our representatives are either member of one, or can be 3 or 2.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. All right. So that was a salutary lesson when I said people didn't turn up because some didn't actually get invited. All right. But yeah. Thank you, Bruce.
Well done to everybody. I'm fully helping out wherever I can, but probably more in mind than body. I've got a friend who's got a pillar drill he'd like to give to us at some stage, so that may be of use in the future.
If not, it goes under the standards. Donate.
Yeah.
We can make use. We sell. Or we recycle.
Yeah.
All right. But
And also, reminder about the meeting up at the Epicentre in January. Yeah, and I'd like some.
Can you tell us
Did
more
you
about
get some
that?
brochures printed and stuff like that?
We have brand new brochures. We do have a pop-up as well.
Yeah.
We have got quite a lot of promotional material now.
They'd like a brief outline of what we're going to discuss. It's only a half hour, three-quarters of an hour chat.
Can you remind me the date and time of that, please?
Yeah, I think it's the 10th. It's got it on my phone. I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah.
if you like.
I think that's also a good segue to mention the prison.
Yeah.
Some of our members will be attending the prison. Talk about it.
Yeah, we've been invited up to HMP High Point, and they've got a wellbeing day going on. We're going to be up there from 10 till 12:30. Yeah, basically we're going to be sort of saying hello, here we are.
Well-being of staff,
Yeah, it's
not,
well-being of
not the inmates.
Yeah.
Well, they can get out easier than
Yeah,
staff.
so basically, it's here we are. Come and join us if you want to. Get involved if you want to.
Because don't forget, there's quite a lot of guys here who have worked at the prison. Who's worked at the prison from here?
Colin.
Yeah.
Still do.
Colin does. Yeah.
Yeah. Jim did, I think.
Jim. Yeah.
Jim,
Jim
yeah.
does. You know, so it's one of those uniformed referral routes.
Yeah.
And so hence that's why we're putting the time in to actually go up there and just talk about, because they've got a local workforce, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, so like the Epicentre and that, it's a bit of the outreach.
Yeah.
And if you want to know why you all do know anyway, but yesterday the two consultants had come from a different part of the country, hadn't they? Because they weren't local. She did look like Paloma Faith, she really did, and she sounded like her. I can't. And she says, yes, I get that a lot. You know, I nearly had a selfie with her, I tell you. All right. She said, oh, this I've never heard it mentioned. My dad's just lost. My mum passed about a year ago. He's ex-military, and he's just hanging around the house.
Yeah.
And I went, well, there you go. She said, oh, thank you. Okay. I know you're from a different part of the country, but you're probably not no more than 10 miles away from a shed. You know, and she said she's going to talk to her dad, using our leaflet, talk to her dad about doing something like that where they are. You know, so it is. The win isn't always today.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Gary went away and he's come back. You know, about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the seeds, isn't it?
You know, and that's it. He just knows there's a place to come back to. You know, it doesn't matter if you're every day, but you can come back to. Elton. Paul.
Thank you. All I want to say is, well done, everyone. What you've done for us is marvellous.
Thank you.
It's going to be hard work because of working in two places at once.
Yeah.
And that is probably, that has been the hardest.
Division. It's caused division. I know it
Yeah.
has. And that's why today I just wanted to bring everybody together so that they could bring back together anybody got a voice, to show that you do have a voice. We are listening. All right. We may not always do as we're told or asked to do, but it is always going into the mix, whatever.
Right. And I've had someone with a cam drone, my son, who he won't do it today, but he's going to come over one of the day when it's dry.
Yep.
To fly over and take photos.
That is brilliant. That'd be great.
Make sure he gets the green roof in.
And be careful that there's nobody playing football or he gets any of the school children and all of that kind of thing, because we don't need any of that grief as well. But yeah,
We're not near American Air Base, are we? No.
Also assuming that he is CAA registered with an operator's ID.
don't have to, I think, with Joe.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
No, okay.
Right, Dave.
Apologise, I've got to go.
Yes, yes, you did.
Oh, yes. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, you carry on.
Yeah,
Rodney.
Dave. Yes, mate. Anything you'd like to add or ask?
No.
Jeff.
Yes. What was the lasagna like?
I bet it wasn't as good as his. Yeah. Right, Ron. Anything you'd like to ask or add?
Okay.
Anything you'd like to ask or add?
Not at this moment, thank you.
Alex?
No.
Rob?
No.
Good. I'll finish by saying that we are going to have trophies this year. So if you'd like to nominate Shedder of the Year, Noisiest Git, or make up another section if you want, really, you know, please let us know, and we will be doing it at the Christmas event as well. So we should have like 5 categories. And who we like to give
Blue Tongue Brigade.
Is that picture still up here? It was one up in here, isn't it? All right. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much. And, yeah. Before you do it, fall out.
Put the coffee machine on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was for the trust, all the trustees.
Thank you. And you guys. It's a bit pointless doing this if I